Welcome to My Weekly Mixtape, a podcast that takes the classic mixtape approach to building a modern playlist. I'm your host, Brian Colburn. Joining me once again tonight as guest curator is my former Tune Styles co-host, Jay Sweet. Jay, welcome back again, my friend.
Thanks, man. It's great to be here.
It's good to have you, and I am excited because tonight we are going to go down a road that I actually don't think in all the years we've podcasted together, we've truly dove into, which is comedy and novelty songs.
Yeah. When you originally pitched this to me, I thought, okay, this is great because I lived on Dr. Demento forever, and we can get into it organically when we get there. But, you know, I have great stories about almost every novelty song ever written that I've ever heard. So I'm looking forward to talking about this for sure.
Me too. And I was actually kind of shocked that a lot of the novelty songs that I picked actually in some way, shape, or form, be it here in the US or overseas, charted. So some of these songs are actually in the top 100, sometimes in the top 40 discussion here, even though they're not serious. So believe it or not, people can actually laugh. I didn't know if you knew this, but apparently at some point in time, people were able to laugh at things.
Yeah, not so much these days, but, you know, it's okay. We're going to bring it back.
Yeah.
We're taking it back.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we could use a good laugh tonight. Now, I am going to go on record and say that a lot of the songs we're going to be talking about tonight are not safe for work, at least from my bank of songs, I could tell you right now. So while we'll do our best to keep it as PG as the show normally is, I make zero guarantees on this episode, because some of the songs I picked this evening, let's just say it's kind of hard to keep PG no matter how you try, but we'll do our best.
All right. I can get behind that. There's a lot of stuff that a lot of these songs in my bank were written with kind of a dark streak. And if you are a fan of the Dr. Demento, the Funny 25, or even, you know, Dr. Demento's whole entire show, those kind of songs, you kind of get a little bit of that, oh, that's dark. Oh, all right. Well, we're going to talk about that.
Well, I think I'm going to balance your dark out because I don't think any of my songs are dark in any way, shape, or form. Mine are as over the top as you could possibly get. So I think we're going to strike a balance here. But let's see as we go down that road. Tonight, as I mentioned at the top of the show, Jay and I are going to be curating the ultimate comedy and novelty songs mixtape, and we'll use the old cassette deck approach. Jay, as my special guest, will begin side A with his first song choice, and then I'll add a song that I feel best follows up that choice. We'll then flip-flop choosing songs until we've mapped out 10 songs for side A. We'll then give our mixtape a proverbial flip, and we'll map out side B, only this time I'll kick things off with Jay choosing second. Our overall goal for the episode is to craft the best comedy and novelty songs mixtape possible through only 20 songs. At the end of the show, you can take our conversation to the next level by visiting the episode page at myweeklymixtape.com, where you can give our final mixtape a listen via the embedded playlist. And if you like what you're hearing on the show, you can help me out by either telling a friend, leaving the show a 5-star review wherever you're tuning in, or becoming a Patreon mixtaper at patreon.com/myweeklymixtape. There you can find ad-free episodes of the show, get early access to future My Weekly Mixtape episodes, become a future guest, and chime in on upcoming show topics such as this one, which a few of the mixtapers chimed in with the songs they would use to kick off our comedy and novelty songs playlist, and I want to give a few quick shout-outs. Ben from the Too Vague podcast chimed in with Tom Layer's New Math. Tom Hutchinson chimed in with Mr. Bako by Adam Sandler, saying it cracks him up every time he hears it. Philip Bergman chimed in saying, true story, They're Coming to Take Me Away, haha, is actually the first song on one of his oldie mixtapes that he recorded off the radio. But for a lead-off for the ultimate comedy mixtape, he is going to go with the Water Buffalo song from VeggieTales. Chad Lamassa, on a completely different note, is chiming in with King Missile's Detachable Penis. Can't believe we went from VeggieTales to King Missile, but that's where we are right now. Brandon from Virginia is going way back to a deep cut for his choice, Dickie Goodman's Flying Saucer Part 1. Seeker chimed in from Australia with Bad News, which is a British Spinal Tap-like mockumentary made by the guys behind The Young Ones. And while some people might be familiar with their version of Bohemian Rhapsody, Seeker's going with Hey Hey Bad News, which was recorded live at the 1986 Monsters of Rock performance in Donington as the band was booed off the stage. And finally, Sean Goff said he's pretty sure this is a Novelty song and is chiming in with Psycho Sticks. This is not a song, it's a sandwich. And if that doesn't count, he's going to go old school with Stranded in the Jungle by the Cadets. Once again, if you'd like to chime in for future My Weekly Mixtape episodes, join the Mixtaper community at patreon.com/My Weekly Mixtape. And now, Jay, I need a good laugh tonight. So I'm going to officially press the record button on our mixtape and expect some laughter out of you. So what song is going to kick off the festivities for this evening?
Well, we are going right to the Dr. Demento show. And if you, like I mentioned earlier, if you are a fan of Novelty Records, if you are a fan of Weird Al Yankovic, you know Dr. Demento, because that's kind of where Weird Al became Weird Al. He got his start there and took off to being one of the most prolific and funniest comedy writers, songwriters of all time, you know, if you're asking me. But we're going to start with Dr. Demento. And what I used to do is listen on WAQX, Manlius, Syracuse, when I was growing up. The 95X used to run on, I believe it was Sunday nights, the Dr. Demento show, late at night, like I think at 9 or 10 o'clock. I remember going to bed, get ready for school in the morning, and that was what I would listen to.
I mean, that's still late at night now, if you think about it. I mean, for us.
It really is. No, it really is. So when I first heard this, this song cracked me up so much. And it goes right to that dark heart that I talked about. There was a group called Ogden Edsel, and actually they shortened that from Ogden Edsel Wahalia Blues Ensemble Mondo Bizarro Band. And they've been around since the 1970s, the early 1970s. And in 1977, they put out a song, the last track on the first side of the record, which was called Dead Puppies Aren't Much Fun. With lyrics like, my puppy died late last fall. He's still rotting in the hall. Dead puppies aren't much fun. Mom says puppy's days are through. She's going to put him in the stew.
Oh, God.
But this is, and talking about that had Tom Lehrer, that mentioned Tom Lehrer.
That was Ben from the Too Vague podcast.
Ben from the Too Vague podcast. Tom Lehrer. So 1959, you got to think about that. Back when rock and roll was still brand new, Novelty Records have been around for forever. They literally have. I'm sure that your fine listeners, Brian, who subscribe to TikTok or Facebook Reels or Instagram, have come across these videos with these oldie-timey 1930s, 1940s kind of brassy big band songs about double entendres, like really, really on the nose double entendre stuff. And those are Novelty Records, and they've been around for a very long time. Tom Lehrer had a song called Poisoning Pigeons in the Park, I think in 1959? Question mark? Yes, 1959 was on more of Tom Lehrer, but this Ogden Edsel was 1977. That song came out, and it was on the album Stuffed. So that's how we started off. We're going to go down a hole, and we're going to be on a roller coaster ride all the way through this.
I'm going to say, and hopefully not offending too many people who never heard it, but it's an older song, and if you get Dr. Demento's style of humor, it's actually not far removed. I've listened to this song before. It's definitely one that kind of just keeps building and building and building and getting weirder and creepier. And it is just off the wall. And it's everything that encapsulates what Dr. Demento was. I mean, there's a certain sense of humor that if you are a Dr. Demento fan, you immediately get it. But if you're not a Dr. Demento fan, it's either going over your head, offending you, or you're just kind of staring at the radio blankly. And I'm kind of none of those. I find Dr. Demento's humor pretty hysterical.
Absolutely. And I mean, if you, like you said, if you are familiar with what Dr. Demento has done, without Dr. Demento, we don't have Bob Rivers, right? We don't have the 12 Pains of Christmas, which was one of the greatest Christmas parody songs ever written. You don't have Bob and Tom, radio show hosts, and O&A and even Howard. I mean, Howard, for the most part, Howard Stern. You don't have those funny gags, those radio gags. And Dr. Demento kind of brought all of that to us in a lot of ways. And in fact, if you remember, we're talking about this, and like I said, I'm full of stories about this stuff, but there was a song that Dr. Demento would play in regular rotation. One of them was Star Trekkin', and being a sci-fi nerd that I am, that was a hilarious song for me. But there was the Dead Puppy song, then there was the Tom Lehrer stuff, and all of the Weird Al stuff. And there was a song by Kipler called Wet Dream. And it was 100% based on double entendres he pulled his car into the shop because he had blown a seal, and he said, shut up and fix the thing and leave my personal life out of it. Like those kind of things. Just hysterical. The double entendres are great. I kind of, this occurred to me this very day, Brian. I think that music was funnier when you had songs that were creative around the topic they were singing about. She-Bop by Cyndi Lauper, right? Instead of today's modern era, you're going to get, what were you doing? I was sitting at home, in the early 80s and up until I think around the early 90s, something tectonically shifted in music in terms of self-censoring. And they were less, I think they're less creative about it. I think it suffered a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little bit more on the nose, for sure.
Yeah.
And when I listen to Dr. Demento, I think of songs like Tim Cavanaugh's I Want to Kiss Her, parentheses, but she won't let me. However, when you sing the song, it's I want to kiss her, but she won't let me. Again, all it takes is the way you sing the song in the phrasing. And it changes it completely. As a kid, I laughed at that. Oh, he said kiss her butt. But at the end of the day, punctuation matters. And you know what, Jay? Back to Ogden Edsel, Dead Puppies was the most requested song on Dr. Demento's radio show ever. So this is not really a deep cut if you're a fan of Dr. Demento. And it remains the only song to hit number 1 on the annual Funny 25 countdown 2 years in a row, which was 82 and 83.
That's right.
So, I mean, that's as good as a Grammy as far as I would be concerned. But I'm going to steer right into this Dr. Demento thing and scoop you right away because there's going to be an elephant in the room, and we could sit here and push this all the way to the end of the episode. But let's just get it out of the way first. This is the big shocking reveal. Weird Al.
Oh, yeah.
We're obviously going to talk about him. We've done a full episode of My Weekly Mixtape on Weird Al Yankovic. Hell, you and I did episodes on Weird Al back on the Tune Styles days. It was done on Playlist Wars. I'm always talking about Weird Al. Let's just get it out of the way and get him in. And I'm going to go with the title track to the first ever Weird Al album I ever owned, 1985's Dare to Be Stupid. And for nerds like you and I, Jay, it was also featured on 1986's Transformers, the movie soundtrack, as the double A side to Stan Bush's The Touch. I mean, as much as I love this song, and I hear lyrics like burn your candle at both ends, look a gift horse in the mouth, mashed potatoes could be your friend. In the back of my head, I'm still picturing Wreck-Gar and the Junkins having their battle during this song. I remember sitting in the movie theater having my mind blown because I had that album. So the Transformers were crossing multiverses in my brain at that time, which I absolutely love. And the song is still in popular culture as 2024's Night Bitch with Amy Adams features the song in the movie.
Oh, no, I have not seen that. I think I might have to watch that movie.
Just for that alone.
Absolutely. Oh, Weird Al. I mean, as you said, we could gush on about Weird Al Yankovic. And the fact that he's not in the Rock Hall of Fame is criminal. And Weird Al Yankovic was my first concert ever off the Deep End tour. Got to go to the Landmark Theater at Syracuse with my bestest buddies in the whole wide world. And we all kind of convinced my dad, nope, it's not a rock show. It's Weird Al. It's going to be amazing. We're going to have a great time. And I got to go. And we had a fantastic time. I think I mentioned this a number of times with you as well. My dad was in an orchestra. He was the band leader for an 18-piece orchestra, and he had a lot of friends in the city who were musicians. He's played with almost everybody. And one of his friends was my sister and I, my younger sister and I. My dad's friend Barry had 2 kids, Chip, who was a little older than me, and got me turned on to Weird Al Yankovic. He had the entire discography right up as long as, when I first met him. And we went back and listened to those records, and that was what we did when we first met. And they were, they're just, it's Weird Al. How do you go wrong?
You can't go wrong with Weird Al. And I'm actually taking it a step further and taking the entire family this summer to Madison Square Garden for Weird Al and Puddle's Pity Party.
Nice.
And this will be the kids' first time seeing Weird Al, and I am so excited to watch the show through them seeing him live for the first time, as well as enjoying it for myself.
That'll be awesome.
All right. We could go on about Weird Al for an entire hour, but let's save that for another night. What are you following up Dead Puppies and Dare to Be Stupid with?
Let's go direct into comedy. And one of the most hilarious comedians taken far too soon. And this video was all over MTV, and you could not get away from this song. Sam Kinison's Wild Thing, featuring a whole bunch of musicians in the video. I think, was it Joe Perry and Steven Tyler were in that movie or in the video?
Oh, here. Because I'm just going to interrupt you and let you know that you scooped me, bastard. But the video not only featured Steven Tyler and Joe Perry of Aerosmith, it also featured Rodney Dangerfield, John Bon Jovi, Jessica Hahn, Motley Crue's Tommy Lee, Journey or Bad English, depending on what point. I think it was Bad English at this point. It was Jonathan Cain and Dean Castronovo. You had Richie Sambora and Alex John Such of Bon Jovi, Slash and Steven Adler of Guns N' Roses, Robin Crosby and Warren DeMartini of Rat, CeCe DeVille of Poison, Rudy Cesaro of Quiet Riot, and Billy Idol. Can you imagine the mounds of cocaine at this video shoot? Because the video is one big party. I mean, let's be honest here.
Yes.
This was the height of hair metal being exploited for comedy. And kids, little PSA here, do not do cocaine.
Don't do cocaine.
No, not good for you. But back to the 1980s, when I don't think it's a far-fetched to say that there was some maybe on this video shoot.
No, that wouldn't be a stretch at all.
I mean, Jay, realistically, this song could fall under several playlists for me because, yes, it's a comedy song, but it's also, if you really want to be honest about it, it's kind of a straight-ahead cover. There's some humorous moments in it, like at the end when Kinison just starts kind of going off on his rant, saying like,
the rant,
guys that are going to use you like you used me and take that money out of your purse and crawl out a window. And he's just doing his scream. But at the end of the day, it's just a straight ahead cover, and it's a great cover. So I have actually used this song on my comedy playlists, on my cover songs playlists, and on my 80s hair metal playlist because of that massive list of musicians we talked about. They're all playing on it or in the music video. So yeah, it counts as hair metal as well.
Absolutely.
So following that up, I think I'm going to stick with the harder, heavier vibe, but I'm going to jump ahead a couple of years here. And Jay, as soon as I say the name of this song, I know you're immediately going to laugh, but I'll start by saying the song reached number 17 on the US Billboard Hot 100, hit number 5 in the UK, number 6 in Australia, number 8 in Ireland, number 3 in Sweden, and was a number 1 hit in New Zealand. And Jay, if you want to split hairs here, this is a song that technically you and I both play in the band of, at least if our interview with William Manspeaker means anything. I am going to go with Green Jello's Three Little Pigs off of 1992's Serial Killer. However, instead of me going on about the song, Jay, I actually went back and pulled a little clip of Bill talking about Three Little Pigs that you have not heard in probably 7 years, and I thought you'd get a kick out of this. So you and I are going to listen to Bill Manspeaker of Green Jellÿ talking about Three Little Pigs and the Serial Killer album, which I will also add, if there was any part of this episode that is not safe for work, this is it. So, yeah, put those headphones on for this one.
Well, the challenge was actually doing it because, lying about doing it was really easy. I just simply told this gigantic fish story where not only did I have the world's worst, crappiest band, but that I could also make 11 music videos for a super cheap price of $60,000. And the reality was I was just talking out my ass. I didn't know how to make any videos. I worked at Entertainment Television, as a runner. Hey, somebody needed coffee or a donut. I was the guy that got it. But somehow I elaborated on my job and made it sound like I was some sort of video producer, director, whatever it was to get the money. And then all of a sudden I got the money and I'm like, realized like, oh, fuck, I got to do this shit now. And so I went and, I got 11 music videos to do. So the first one I start off is a song called Serial Killer. And it literally took me 2 months. 2 months of filming, 2 months of lighting, 2 months of editing, 2 months of stress. By the end of it, I thought I was going to fucking die. And I still had 10 more to go. And I was like, oh, fuck my life. What was I doing? Why did I tell these people that I could do this? I hate this. Oh, my God. And so finally, it just came to this choice. Is like, I could no longer hopefully just make all these music videos on the weekend with my friends, that I would have to actually quit my job and focus and actually do this. So on March 17th, 1992, I quit my job. And every day, all I did nonstop was I shot videos, I lit videos, I edited videos, I directed videos, I produced videos. By the end of June, I had made 11 music videos. And the last one that I made, I shot it in the morning and I edited it in the afternoon, and it was done by the end of the day. And that was called Electric Harley House of Love. So now I had all my videos, except for one. Three Little Pigs was missing because they were still animating it. So I hand them all in. Record company president calls the whole office in, like 50 people, forces them to watch 50 minutes of Shitman and Cow Gods and Tripping on Ecstasies. And after it was all done and over, it was complete fucking silence. Not a clap, not a laugh, not a yoo-hoo, nothing. And I proudly and I boldly said, I got one more. I got one more. One more to be ready in a couple days. And that was it. And it just went, like there was no hoorah. And they didn't care I had one more. So I called up the guy. I said, dude, man. I said, oh, my video's fucking blue. This is it. We got the last one, man. You got it ready? He's like, no, I'm nowhere near ready. Like, how much footage you got? Hey, you got a minute and a half. A minute and a fucking half. Fuck my life. So I took that minute and a half and I stretched that motherfucker so long, so hard. And I brought it into the record company and I threw it in there. I said, this is it. This is it. This is the one. Totally looked at me like I was completely nuts. Press play. And by the end of it, he was like, that's your motherfucking hit song, Willie. This is your million. You fucking did it. And within months, 14 million. Generated over $25 million within 1 year.
And I could say that my money's part of that bunch, so you're welcome in that.
Thank you. Thank you for me not having a job since 1992.
Well, there you go.
Well, there you have it, Jay. There's a little blast from the past there.
He has a potty mouth.
I was going to say any chance of this episode going PG has gone right out the window. However,
no. No, I mean, the guy set out to make the world's crappiest band, right? That was his goal. And I mean, if you hadn't heard that episode, what a story.
Oh, yeah, man, I completely agree. And I think, you know what, this summer, I'm going to throw up the full interview with Bill Manspeaker of Green Jellÿ as a bonus episode on the My Weekly Mixtape feed, because even though it's not safe for work in any way, shape, or form for an episode, it's a fascinating interview.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that song, that video was something else for sure. And that song was just, when you listen to it, you go, the song is awful, but it's fan-friggin-tastic.
It's the Three Little Pigs. You know the song. I mean, it's the story. You know the song. You know it's
It's perfection. It really is.
All right. So what are you following that up with?
All right. Let's go to, let me think. This would be 1994. Picture it. Syracuse University, 1994. I'm a young, scrapping kid looking for a radio gig, and I had connected up with the morning show host, and I'm not going to use the names because this story is god-awful, but it's so great. The morning show host was dating the news director at the time, and they broke up very, very badly. And he calls me, he goes, I'm in the production room, right? I'm just the producer for the morning show, not even the executive producer at this point. I was just the producer for the show. And he calls me in from the production room. He goes, can you come in for a minute? And I said, yeah, I'll come in. Well, they had just finished the news at the top of the hour, so she had gone out to the newsroom to write the next 15 minutes of story, whatever. And he closes the studio door and he goes, listen, I feel really awful for what happened between her and I, and I got this song, and I'm gonna play it for her, and it's gonna bring her back. I know it's gonna win her over. And I said, okay. So he drops Adam Sandler's CD. They're all gonna laugh at you.
Oh no!
And
I know
he
where
cues
you're
up
going
at a
with this.
medium pace. Oh Jesus! The song, I'm so sorry. The song is not safe for work by any stretch of the imagination. About 4 seconds into the song, that's all you get. This gorgeous acoustic guitar intro, and then he starts singing, "Put your arms around me, baby. Can't you see I need you so? Hold me close against your skin. I'm about to begin loving you." That's all you get. After that, do not play that song anywhere near human beings, ever. And I just started, I mean, you know, like when you're in morning radio and you just eat whenever you can. Well, I had milk coming out of my nose, Brian, because I was drinking a carton of milk. And I was dying. I'm like, oh my God, what did you just play? And he took the CD out, and I went home and listened to that CD on loop and laughed harder every time I heard it.
I think we're going to show our age here because you definitely scooped me on it. 1993's They're All Gonna Laugh at You. I mean, that album for years became a staple that's quotable by anybody that kind of grew up with Adam Sandler, that era of SNL. And here's the thing. It had the SNL hits on it. It had the Thanksgiving song. It had Lunch Ladyland. So it sucked a lot of us Saturday Night Live fans into buying the album. Then you get to At a Medium Pace, and it's not Saturday Night Live friendly at all. Not even close.
Really
and we're
not.
not going to go down that road. If you want to listen to the song, it's going to be on the playlist at myweeklymixtape.com. But the show takes no responsibility. If you happen to listen to it at work and you get in trouble, that's on you. The warning is coming from us. Do not listen to this song at work. You will get in trouble. However, the first time I heard this song, I laughed so hard it hurt. And I cannot tell you how many people I sat there and said, I got this new ballad and it is so good and you need to hear it. It's just such a beautiful song. And then right when you get to I'm about to begin loving you and the look on people's faces, I loved watching people's reaction to that song for the first time so much because it was so convincing that you were about to just get a soft acoustic ballad. And it's just wonderful. I'm so happy you picked it because you definitely scooped me. And I think we did a good job of finding a way to talk about the song without actually talking about the song.
You have been warned.
And with that being said, I am going to follow that up with a song that also comes from Saturday Night Live lore because we're in that realm right now. But I'm going to fast forward a decade and a half. We're going to go to 2009. Obviously, if you're talking Saturday Night Live and music, The Lonely Island's going to come up. And there's so many songs we can go with here. However, there's one that I could listen to for the most part with my kids, at least my oldest, and we could still laugh at this one. Because as long as you've got your swim trunks and your flippy floppies, we're going with T-Pain, I'm on a Boat from 2009's Incredibad, hit number 56 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100. This was a top 100 hit. It hit number 62 on the Canadian Hot 100. And it also hit number 14 in Australia and number 9 in New Zealand. I mean, all the Lonely Island stuff is hysterical. I could have went with Natalie Portman's rap. I could have went with Lazy Sunday. I could have went with Captain Jack Sparrow.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Mother
It's one of my
Lover.
favorites.
Three-Way. D in a Box. But I'm on a Boat. There's something that's a little less not safe for work. It's not safe for work, but it's not safe for work at the level of Adam Sandler's At a Medium Pace. It's just not safe for work at a different level, but still hysterical nonetheless. And every time I get on a boat, I hum it. I don't care. It's too funny.
You have to. Very, very funny story. My friends got married in Orlando, and they got married on a boat. And every time that that Janelle would tell us that she was getting married to Mark, the wedding venue was on a boat, and she would sing it. I'm on a boat. It's great. I'm like, well, you guys win. You win weddings. I don't know what to tell you at that point. But The Lonely Island, it's another one of those great. I thought for a minute you were going to go with Wayne's World with Aerosmith.
Oh, that was good too.
Mike Myers and Dana Carvey.
Yeah, that was great. That's great too.
Great stuff. If you do not like it, you're a sphincter boy. But no, The Lonely Island is, I think Lazy Sunday was the first, right? With Parnell.
Lazy Sunday was the breakout hit for them, if you want to quote unquote call it a hit.
Yeah. And then they did D in a Box with Timberlake, and everything went crazy meteoric for them. All 4 of those albums. And then I watched the movie Pop Star Never Stop.
That movie is hysterical if you haven't seen it.
I died laughing. I died laughing, and then it had to be reincarnated and laughed again. It's just, but Captain Jack, Michael Bolton being Michael Bolton, hilarious. But yeah, T-Pain, where they're sitting around at the beginning of the video and they're sitting around eating breakfast, and he's like, oh, hey, I just won a cruise for me and 2 of my closest friends. Who are you taking? I'm taking you and T-Pain. It's like just randomly sitting there enjoying breakfast cereal. Okay, perfect. He goes, word. That's so great. Oh, that's so great. Wow, where do we go from? Wow. All right. 2013. We'll speed it forward a little bit. I had taken a gig at Fox at the time. And because of that fact and the timing, you couldn't throw a stone in any direction without hitting this song. It was everywhere. And YouTube, I mean, most downloaded video on YouTube for 2013.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
Yes. And it is the stupidest song ever written. It really is. It can't get much worse than Ylvis's The Fox.
I love it.
Ding, 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 ding. You know what it is, Brian? It is our kids' version of Bird is the Word.
100%. And I'll say this. I sent that video to my oldest's godfather the first time I saw it because I couldn't breathe. I was laughing so hard. And he responded saying, I don't know if I should thank you or hate you because it's stuck in my head. And I can't lie. We've watched it 5 times in a row where it was hypnotic. And here's the thing. At the time, we went to the kindergarten dance, and guess what the song of the night was? The Fox. And these kids
of course
loved
it is.
But guess what? It was still on the radio. My parents thought it was funny. This thing crossed generations. It was so dumb, but it was so needed that generations, kids to grandparents, laughed at this song. It reached number 6 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100. Number 19 on the Canada Hot 100. Number 17 on the UK singles chart. Number 9 on the Australia ARIA chart. And it was a number 1 hit in both South Korea and Norway. This song, believe it or not, recently came on in the car when I was with the whole family. And I went to skip it, and both my girls said, Dad, what are you doing? They still think it's funny. They still think it's funny 12 years later.
Absolutely.
All right. I'm going to go with one that I actually played them recently because my youngest is in that age where butts are funny.
Brian, butts are never not funny.
I was going to say, I think I'm still in the age and I'm in my late 40s, but I digress. We're going to go back to 1999 for this one. And this is one that you and I talked about back in our radio days in the early 2000s because it kept popping up in popular culture. Because Eminem in 2000 released a song called The Real Slim Shady. And in 2002, he released a song called Without Me. And both songs interpolated this 1999 song from Tom Green. And I am going to go with Lonely Swedish, the Bum Bum song. The song actually became a hit on MTV's Total Request Live, or TRL, as the kids remember it. However, MTV actually pressured Tom Green into retiring the music video because,
that's right.
Newsflash, TRL was not always live. So they had already taped the following week's episode, and the producers had no idea that the Bum Bum song hit the week prior. So they ignored it. So what happened was they just retired the song as it hit number one so that Tom could basically go on air and say, and I quote, I'm retiring it because it's not fair to 98 Degrees. But believe it or not, the song was on the ascent. And here we are 26 years later, and there's documentaries going out about Tom Green now. He's putting out stuff on Amazon, and he's doing new specials. And this is part of what made Tom Green a superstar at that time. You don't get Freddie Got Fingered if the Lonely Swedish Bum Bum song doesn't become a viral, at the time, viral hit. It was viral prior to the word actually meaning something.
Absolutely. And it's a toss-up. Which one is more stupid, the Fox or the Lonely Swedish? Like, which one? But holy cow, these cultural phenomenon that just kind of lightning in a bottle. I never meant for that to happen. And now they called me from MTV and said, listen, you got to retire the song. And he's done a whole bit about it. And it's fantastic.
I love the song. And I love when these moments happened because they happened naturally. They happened because of the fact that at the end of the day, the songs are funny. Whether they're offensive or not, they're funny. It could be stupid. It could be offensive. But if enough people laugh, it becomes something that gets shared and passed around. Nowadays, it happens via, a text or sharing it on social media. But back in the late 90s, early 2000s, it was phone calls. It was reaching out to your buddies. It was burning it onto a CD and bringing it in your car. So, Jay, what do you got for track 9?
Wow. I want to go to one of the greatest, highest overrated, that's a new word, I just made it up, highest overrated guitar player in musical history. And I don't say that lightly, but you wouldn't think of it because every song this guy wrote was just out there. Whether it be solo records or with the Mothers of Invention, Frank Zappa is a huge name. I mean, the entirety of Joe's Garage is such an underground cult following record with some amazing, the entire second side of the second record of that is just amazing guitar work. And Zappa wrote some crazy stuff. And one of them was featured on the Dr. Demento show, as well as a whole movie named after it. And that is Valley Girl.
Nice. From 1982's Ship Arriving Too Late to Save a Drowning Witch. The song reached number 32 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 and number 18 on the Canada RPM Top Singles chart. I just want to say this. Lyrically, Frank Zappa was very much and dove in and out of novelty. However, make no mistake, Frank Zappa was a musical genius One
question.
of the greatest composers of rock music. He did things that were completely unheard of in music, incorporating jazz and progressive. And there are stories about him having the Black Page 1. And it was basically one of the hardest drum compositions ever. And Terry Bozzio, who is a phenomenon on drums, talks
Absolutely.
about how complicated this is. The guy is a goddamn genius for music. And he just happens to have a twisted sense of humor that plays out in a novelty sense. But make no mistake about it, take no respect away from Frank Zappa's music. He was so good, he could be funny and impressive simultaneously, which doesn't happen often.
That's right. And this song featuring his daughter, Mununit Zappa, was it was a actual, like, he woke her up in the middle of the night. That's according to the biography. Woke her up in the middle of the night, took her down to the recording studio to recreate a conversation that she had with some friends in school, right? And it was all the Valley Girl slang, like, oh, for sure, like, totally, the way we all talked in the 80s. And then Terry Motormouth Young, he's a DJ, night jock on Philadelphia's WCAU FM. And this is one of those radio pranks that's like, yeah, all right. It's like when you walk into a diner, you pump a bunch of quarters into the jukebox and you hit the same song over. Surfing Bird, for example. This guy played that song 10 times in a row. He got suspended for it. So we could go down a whole rabbit hole with Zappa, but Zappa was very instrumental in that whole PMRC thing too on Capitol Hill, where Tipper Gore and the parties were trying to pass the parental advisory lyrics. That's where that all came from. And Zappa was very vocal in DC about that underpinning and about how that led to could lead to a very difficult, slippery slope. And yeah, here we are.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned at the top of the show, I think they've taken all the fun out of the creative part of it. And it's kind of, the music has suffered a little bit for it. But Zappa was, you're right. He's a genius. He's a pioneer. But the band in and of itself and the musicality of Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention, you can't overstate the contribution that they've made to the music industry.
Not at all. And I think to close out side A, I mean, there's no way musically to reach the heights of Frank Zappa, because he is one of, like we said, one of the greatest musicians ever. So instead of paying tribute to one of the greatest musicians ever, we'll just pay tribute to one of the greatest songs ever. Because even though it's not the greatest song in the world, it's just a tribute. 2001 Tenacious D tribute. Did I say tribute enough times? And while it didn't chart in the US, it actually hit number 1 on the UK rock and metal chart, number 4 in Australia, and number 9 in New Zealand, among others. So once again, the US gets it wrong, because Tribute is a fantastic comedy song. And I'll just be honest with you, I actually have it on my 2000s playlist, because at the end of the day, even though it's funny, it's still just a damn fun song. It's fun to play, it's fun to sing, and it's a good song. I mean, Wonder Boy or Tribute, I could have went either way, but I think coming out of Frank Zappa, Tribute's the way to go.
No effort, Gently.
Not on this. I mean, I figured you took care of that without a medium pace.
That's true.
I think you covered all the bases with that one.
The early 2000s on MTV we had some really good stuff come out of that. You had Tenacious D, you had the Flight of the Conchords. I mean, the music out of those, fantastic. And you got Tenacious D, who went on to do a couple of different movies. The Pick of Destiny was great with Dave Grohl in it, and Meatloaf as his father, RJ Dio, who unfortunately, passed away, but what a great, just speaking live from the poster. It's so great. And again, stupid humor, dick and fart jokes all day long, but funny. And again, it never stops being funny, because that's who we are.
Well, there you have it, mixtapers. Side A of the Ultimate Comedy and Novelty Songs mixtape, which consists of Ogden Edsel's Dead Puppies Aren't Much Fun, Weird Al Yankovic's Dare to Be Stupid, Sam Kinison's Wild Thing, Green Jello's Three Little Pigs, Adam Sandler's At a Medium Pace, The Lonely Island featuring T-Pain's I'm on a Boat, Ylvis's The Fox, Tom Green's Lonely Swedish, the Bum Bum Song, Frank Zappa's Valley Girl, and Tenacious D's Tribute. Head over to myweeklymixtape.com to hear all the songs we've discussed in this mix through the playlist embedded on the episode page. And now, Jay, I get to kick things off on side B, and I'm going to go with a song that also harkens back to my high school and college days, similar to the way Adam Sandler's They're All Gonna Laugh at You did, because these albums came out in the same year. And I'm going to go off of the 1993 album No Cure for Cancer. And I'm going to go with Denis Leary's Asshole. Once again, it didn't chart in the U.S. because the U.S. got it wrong, but it hit number 58 on the UK singles chart, number 79 in Scotland, number 22 in New Zealand, and number 2 in Australia. I remember vividly, I was a huge fan of MTV Unplugged, and we talked about this on the Unplugged episode of My Weekly Mixtape, but Denis Leary has an episode of MTV Unplugged, and if you look it up, it's really, really funny, and they do a version of Asshole on it, and it's great. And I mean, the song is getting a resurgence here in 2025 because Denis Leary just performed the song on Jimmy Fallon, which introduced it to a whole new generation of TikTokers and Instagrammers and YouTube short people, because it went viral again, like everything Jimmy Fallon does.
That's right.
And they're realizing that a song that is 32 years old is still funny.
When I hear that song, I am immediately back in the back seat of my buddy Mike's grandma's Oldsmobile. And back in the 80s and 90s, General Motors put out top of the line audio systems. Like the bass was booming that car with, I mean, we didn't need hydraulics. The bass was hitting in that car so hard. But I remember being in his grandma was taking us somewhere, and he's like, here, pop this in. And he put the tape in, and we're just, everybody, and we're just cracking up. And his grandmother is just like, oh, I don't know that I like that. So great. I'm telling you, I got stories for all of this stuff. Because again, these are Mike and me and my friend Tim and Stan, Charlie. We all grew up in this tight group all the way through high school. We would listen to Dr. Demento every week. And it was great. And that song, it just brings me right back to that car. I'm telling you, his grandmother is great. She was a saint.
I was going to say, it's not the kind of song I would normally think to play in front of my grandmother, but you know.
You wouldn't think.
Folks, I'd like to sing a song about the American dream. But instead of doing that, Jay, I'm going to pass it back to you for track 2.
This one comes from the subcockles, maybe even the colon. In middle school, my grandparents picked up a summer home on the St. Lawrence River in Cape Vincent, New York. And my uncle and my aunt had I think they just got married, or they were about to get married. Timeline's a little jumbly, but he had an 8-track player and a bunch of 8-tracks. And one of those 8-tracks had it was a novelty 8-track. It wasn't a Dr. Demento one, but it had a whole bunch, like it had Nervous Norvis on it. It had Ray Stevens on it, The Streak, which is a fantastic song. But it also had a song from Johnny Cash. And Johnny Cash did a couple of Shel Silverstein songs, like The Boy Named Sue, but he also wrote a song about this car that he used to work at the factory, at the Cadillac factory, and he would bring home a piece of the car at a time, and he put the car together, and at the end the whole thing summed up with, I would get all sorts of weird looks, as I drove it down the road. It was a 57, 58, 59, 63, but one piece at a time by Johnny Cash, song about his first car.
And it hit number 29 on the US Billboard Hot 100. So top 40 hit number 40 on Canada's top singles chart, and topped the country charts in both countries. It also hit number 32 on the UK singles chart. What I love about this song, Jay, is if you've ever heard of the subgenre psychobilly, meaning groups like the Cramps, the Reverend Horton Heat, and Tiger Army, that all comes from this song. So you could thank Johnny Cash for the term psychobilly, which I love. I think that's great.
Well, we have so much to thank the Man in Black for, and I think that's just one beautiful thing about it.
Well, I think to follow that up, I'm going to stay in this country vibe here and go with another country song. And I'm going to give a little bit of a hat tip to our friends up in the Great White North, as this group hailed from Alberta, Canada. And I'm going to go off their 1980 album, Welcome to the Rodeo. Now, this is kind of a deeper cut, but I'm going to go with Gary Lee and Showdown's The Rodeo Song. 13 years later, due to extensive airplay on BBC Radio, this song actually charted and hit number 43 on the UK singles chart. But the reason I am familiar with this song is every time, and I don't know if this is just a regional New Jersey thing, but every time I have ever been to karaoke, the Rodeo Song is played. And the Rodeo Song is one of those songs that you might not think you know it, but you might actually know it. Well, it's 40 below and I don't give up. Got a heater in my truck and I'm off to the rodeo. And for some reason, every single time I went to karaoke, this song got played. It's just a silly, funny, offensive country song that for some reason, I'm be curious. It's been a long stretch since I've done karaoke in New Jersey. I'd be curious if this is still getting the airplay it did back when I would do karaoke all the time.
I don't think I've ever heard this song at a karaoke. I've heard it at a couple of bars.
Really? But not karaoke.
I don't think I've
this
ever
was
heard
huge
anybody
in
karaoke
in New Jersey. Maybe it's a New Jersey thing. I don't know.
It might be. Yeah. Again, he has a potty mouth. It's a very potty mouth.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about the
that.
lyrics here. No.
No. I don't think I like that. Was this ever on Dr. Demento?
It was part of Dr. Demento as it was featured on the Demento's Mementos album in 1982.
Ah, very nice. All right. All right.
The only difference, if my childhood memory serves me correctly, is that this version had beeps on it. And if you get the actual original version from Gary Lee and Showdown, you get the uncensored version, which is probably what more people are looking for anyway. But I digress.
Well, let's see. Let's go back to Saturday Night Live. And no, I'm not going to go with Wayne's World. This actually, when I say the artist's name, again, is one of the brightest spots of stand-up comedy. Steve Martin, one of the most prolific comedic actors in the 80s and early 90s. Just great, great stuff. And he wrote a song called King Tut.
Yes.
It's a song, born in Babylonia, moved to Arizona, King Tut. So that is, he's my favorite hunky. So great. But he had a whole dance with it and everything. Very, very funny guy. Steve Martin is very, very good, funny guy.
He's also a wild and crazy guy, which was the name of the album that came from.
That's right.
And it was performed by the Toot Uncommons, otherwise known at the time as members of the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band.
Oh, no kid. Now, see, that I didn't know.
Yes, it was part of the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band performed the song. It reached number 17 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100, number 23 on the Canada Top Singles chart. If you want to hear a fantastic version of it, in 2011, Steve Martin put out an album. It was a bluegrass album by Steve Martin and the Steep Canyon Rangers. It's called Rare Bird Alert. It also features guest spots by Paul McCartney and the Chicks. However, the album closes with a bluegrass version of King Tut, and it's incredible, incredible.
Oh, that's fantastic. I will be checking that out for sure.
All right, so we're going to veer out of country because I even brought another bluegrass reference there. And we're going to come up a couple decades. We're going to go to the 1990s because I think at least over the last 25, nearly 30 years and change, you really can't talk about comedy and not bring up South Park in some aspect. So I'm going to go to a song that was originally featured on the show, but then was released in 1998 for the Chef Aid, the South Park album. And I'm going to go with Isaac Hayes, Chocolate Salty Balls, P.S. I Love You. This song reached number 1 on the UK singles chart, and it also claimed the top spot in Scotland and Ireland. It also hit number 14 in Australia. But once again, the US showing that it had no sense of humor, it did not chart here. But a fun fact about the hysterical song, the song and the album as a whole was produced by Rick Rubin.
Wait a minute. What's that smell?
I mean,
Ooh,
look,
baby.
the fact that they were able to
Yes.
get Isaac Hayes, because Isaac Hayes is a serious artist. The fact that they were able to get him, because he performs the song as serious as he would any other Isaac Hayes song. And I think
Sure.
that's what's so funny about it. There is zero comedic tone in Isaac's voice. He delivered that as if it was any Isaac Hayes song. And I think that's the brilliance of why it's so damn funny.
Absolutely. He doesn't play to the laugh at all.
No.
And you could have gone with the Chef 8 album, you could have gone in any different direction because was it Now is the Time for Making Love with Meredith Baxter Burney?
Yes.
And then he has is that the one with Meatloaf where Meatloaf starts going off on the Jim Steinman like, and I'm going to fire the hell and he goes, meat. What? That's not what we're talking about, man. We're talking about making love with Meredith Baxter Burney. So great. So great. I think, unfortunately, the way that relationship soured between Isaac Hayes and
Sadly,
Trey and Matt is a very, very sad kind of a, fallout, and how they kind of wrote Chef out while funny was kind of, you guys were cool for like 15 years at that point, right?
It's a shame because they made some
It was.
hysterically funny moments throughout the show and and in song, obviously.
That's right. Oh, all right. So that's a hard one to come out of. All right, let's go back to some stand-up comedy and another fantastic comedic actor who also was briefly with Saturday Night Live, if I'm not mistaken. And see, a lot of these comedy people, I heard, so I don't know if you know, Brian, Richard Marx has a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
He just started up, and Stories to Tell. Giving him a shout out with if you want to sponsor the show. Feel free to contact Brian. No, but he had Chelsea Peretti on from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. She's a stand-up comic, and she made a comment about, they were talking back and forth about performing on stage, and she said, I think that musicians want to be funny and comics want to be rock stars, right? Stand-up comics want to be rock stars. And so there's a lot of overlap in those two kind of subgenres of the entertainment field. And I think that when we talk about someone like a Sam Kinison or a Denis Leary or Steve Martin and this artist, you kind of see that, where Billy Crystal had a song called You Look Marvelous, based on a character that he did on Saturday Night Live called Fernando, right? And don't be a schnook. It's not how you feel. It's how you look. And darling, let me tell you, you look marvelous. And that is my middle of the pack for side B.
Just looking into your eyes, darling, I could tell you have the legs of a dancer. I mean, this song is basically, it's a skit put to music, and it works so well. And I'm not going to lie, as soon as you said that song, I knew exactly where I was going, because it's the exact same style of comedy. It is this person's stand-up routine just put to music. And it happened 2 years earlier, although this guy was not on Saturday Night Live. I think he's hosted, but he was never on as a cast member. And I am going to go off of the album of the same name, 1983, Rodney Dangerfield, Rappin' Rodney. Written by J.B. Moore and Robert Ford Jr., who were the same songwriters who worked on The Breaks with Curtis Blow. This was basically a rap song where Rodney Dangerfield did his stand-up routine and made it rhyme. And it worked. It hit number 83 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 and earned him a Grammy nomination for Best Comedy Recording. I had this on cassette. I probably wore this damn thing out because I thought it was the funniest friggin' song I'd ever heard in my life. And I actually have it on CD now. Rappin' Rodney is not on CD. However, Rodney put out an album of all love songs, like a serious album.
What?
Yeah, dude. It came out in 2005 and it's called Romeo Rodney. And it's actually kind of a serious album.
All right.
I mean, he does Strangers in the Night. He does Fools Rush In. He does They Say You're Laughing at Me. But at the end, they plugged Rappin' Rodney on at the end, so I had to have a copy of it.
Oh, that's
and it's hysterical.
awesome.
And I still love it to this day.
Oh, that's so good. Again, it's the 80s. Everyone was on cocaine, and the movies were reflective of that. Caddyshack and Back to School. Oh God, what was it?
Easy Money.
Easy Money. That's the one I was thinking of. He's fantastic. What? I don't get no respect. He's so great, and the delivery. It's all about the delivery and the frenetic energy that he brought to the stage, and it was
yes,
great.
and a delivery which unfortunately you did not have in that impression. That was terrible. Sorry. So Jay, what are you going to follow up Rappin' Rodney with?
All right. So I talked to we've done some stand-up comics who crossed over into music as well, and this kind of was a thing that happened with radio stars as well, who also were actors in a lot of cases and also did some music. And in fact, this is a double whammy. So we talk a little bit about Casey Kasem, and he was a radio DJ, but he was also the host of American Top 40 and then went on to the Weekly Top 40. But he was also a cartoon voice for so many cartoons, Scooby-Doo being the biggest. Transformers, he was the voice of Cliff Jumper in Transformers. Mm-hmm. He was also Robin in the Justice League, Super Friends in the Justice League. But when he stopped doing America's Top 40, then Rick Dees took it over. Mm. And Rick Dees wrote a song in 1976 called Disco Duck because disco is so popular that he just wrote this goofy, awful, terrible, horrendously, fabulously funny song. So that's where I'm going to come out of Rodney Dangerfield with Rick Dees.
I'm going to kill you. You totally scooped my last song pick of the night. Reached number 1 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100, as well as the top spot in Canada. It also hit number 6 on the UK charts and number 4 in Australia, among others. I had this 45 growing up. I honestly thought it was Donald Duck as a kid. And I thought this was the Donald Duck dance song, and I thought it was the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah, before we had the barking dog singing Jingle Bells, we had Disco Duck.
And as bad as, oh God, the song was great. Right. I'm sure I'm part of the reason.
Absolutely.
It was number 1.
Absolutely.
I remember Z100 did something called the Jukebox from Hell. And it was always like, they always put the worst songs ever. And they always would include Disco Duck in there. And I'm like, come on, this song is great. I love Disco Duck.
It's like, but people who think that We Built This City is the worst song ever written. Stop.
Oh, they're wrong.
You're wrong.
Get the hell out of here. I love that song.
Get out.
Unapologetically. Plus, it was in the Muppets 2011 movie as a montage.
Hell yes.
So there will be 0 We Built This City hate on my weekly mixtape. But dude, oh man, you're killing me. Now I got to go through this list. Man, you suck, because I got to close out with something else now. All right. We talked about some of the songs that have they're funny, but they also just are awesome on top of being funny. I'm going to go with a song to close out that is so awesome. It's been covered by Korn, Scatterbrain, the Rollins Band, Soundgarden.
Wow.
And the 2 Live Crew sampled it for Dirty Nursery Rhymes on As Nasty as They Wanna Be, off of their 1974 album, Cheech and Chong's wedding album, Earache My Eye.
There you go.
Reached number 9 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100, number 26 in Australia. I mean, let's be honest, the song is funny and it's stupid, but it kind of rocks.
Absolutely.
I mean, at the end of the day, the song's awesome.
That's another one of those artists, Cheech and Chong, who late 70s, early 80s movies were, I mean, just hilariously stupid funny. And they did the comedy record bits, right? They did Sister Mary Elephant with, and Dave's Not Here. And then, of course, you've got Earache My Eye, where they come out on stage at the school and they do the whole song. And it's just, the reaction is, oh, this is ridiculously stupid. These 2 stoners are they're just going off on the school. It's great. It's perfect.
Yeah, I love Up in Smoke. It's a classic 70s comedy. All right, you get to take us home, man. We've got 19 funny songs.
Oof.
What is the 20th?
We are, I'm sure that there are people who are screaming at their car stereos right now or their Spotify, because we could go in 100 million different directions. I mentioned great artists like Nervous Norvis and Kipler and Tom T-Bone Stankus from the Dr. Demento show, talking about, we really didn't add any Tom Lehrer stuff in there, but
we have a volume 2.
We definitely have a volume 2 here. But and even Ray Stevens with The Streak, which is just, again, it's one of those.
It's criminal we didn't make it. I apologize right now. I am sorry.
Yes.
I'm just going to say it because by the tone of your voice, you're not going to go with it.
No, I'm actually going to go. I'm going to our neighbors to the north. And in fact, we're going to take off to the Great White North with Bob and Doug McKenzie featuring Geddy Lee of Rush. Hilarious. There's another one of those Second City Television. Joe Flaherty and Rick Moranis' characters created a great movie with Strange Brew.
Mm-hmm.
Just a stupid movie, and it's so funny. And that song is fantastically funny. Anything. They did the 12 Days of Christmas Canadian style, which is...
And a beer?
It feels like something else ought to be in there, right? To just kind of fill it out, right? Oh, take off, It's great. It's excellent.
From 1981's The Great White North, reached number 16 on the Billboard US Hot 100 singles chart. And Jay, I'm about to blow your mind here. Take Off reached 5 spots higher than Rush's highest ever US charting song, New World Man.
On one hand, I'm not...
How in this world does that happen?
Different. I'm thinking it has something to do with different genres, but that is criminal. It really
right?
is.
I love Take Off. Don't get me wrong. But the fact that charted higher than any Rush song ever blows my mind. But it also, unsurprisingly, hit number 1 on Canada's Chum charts. So at least that makes perfect sense.
Yes.
But with that, mixtapers, we conclude side B of the ultimate comedy and novelty songs mixtape, which consists of Denis Leary's Asshole, Johnny Cash's One Piece at a Time, Gary Lee and Showdown's The Rodeo Song, Steve Martin's King Tut, Isaac Hayes' Chocolate Salty Balls, P.S. I Love You, Billy Crystal's You Look Marvelous, Rodney Dangerfield's Rappin' Rodney, Rick Dees' Disco Duck, Cheech and Chong's Earache My Eye, and Bob and Doug McKenzie featuring the incredible Geddy Lee, Take Off. Head over to myweeklymixtape.com to hear all the songs we've discussed in this mix through the playlist embedded on the episode page. Well, Jay, this has been a hysterically fun episode. Thank you so much for joining me again on My Weekly Mixtape, and I look forward to our volume 2 on this, because at the end of the day, we could all always use a good laugh.
I call the streak.
I think we got to start with that. I think the next one, you have to start with that or else.
You gotta. Yeah, for sure.
All right. So we'll, as people remember from the Tune Styles days, put a pin in that for now. And I will remind the mixtapers that you could find My Weekly Mixtape on almost all the social media haunts at My Weekly Mixtape. You can also head to myweeklymixtape.com to check out the full catalog of My Weekly Mixtape episodes. And finally, if you like what you're hearing on the show, you can help me out by either telling a friend or multiple friends. Tell multiple friends about the show. You can also help by leaving the show a 5-star review wherever you're tuning in. And most importantly, join the Patreon Mixtaper community at patreon.com/My Weekly Mixtape. There you can find ad-free episodes of the show, gain early access to future My Weekly Mixtape episodes. You could chime in on upcoming topics, become a future guest, and so much more. That's all for this week. Thanks again for listening, and until next time, enjoy those comedy and novelty tunes. Just make sure you got some headphones on, because some of those are not safe for work. Don't say we didn't warn you. See you next time.